welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Tech Jupiter. So we are into another video of our MySQL series. So the today's topic that we're going to discuss is relational database versus non-relational databases, or you can say NoSQL. So before we go ahead and discuss about the relational and non-relational databases, we'll first go ahead and discuss about some basic terminologies. So before we go ahead and discuss about the terminologies, let me give you an overview of the table that we have. So here you can see that we have a table which is having attributes such as roll number, name, and the sports. So you know that in SQL, the data is stored in the form of tables, which is containing rows and columns. So here you can see we have this particular row, like 1, 2, 3. We have 3 rows here, and we do have the columns. So here you can see the roll number column is containing only and only row numbers. Similarly, name is containing only and only the name of the person, not the sports, not anything else. Similarly, sports is containing the sports. And we have the rows which is containing the information such as row number, name, and the interest of the sports that the person is having. Let's discuss about some terminology such as record, attribute, degree, cardinality. So we can see each of these as having the rows and the columns. So each row is called as record or the tuple, which is basically representing one complete unit of information. So if I say this for John football, this is one complete information of one person whose name is John, having the roll number 4 and is having interest in sports such as football. So it's a one complete information, and this is called as record. Similarly, what is an attribute? Now you can see we have roll number, name, and sports. So these are the columns. When we say each column, 1, 2, and 3, all these 3 columns are called as what? Attribute. And these attributes contain one type of information. So I can say roll number column is having only and only information related to the roll number. Name is having the information related to the name. Sports is having the information related to the sports only. It is not having something like sports is containing John, or maybe John is containing the roll number, the name is containing the roll number. So there is nothing like that. So entire column will have one specific information in it. Now let's discuss about the degree. What is the degree? So degree is basically the number of columns or the number of attributes in a table. Or you can say, in another words, number of columns or the attributes is called as degree of the relation in a table. Now if I go ahead and see, we have how many columns here? 1, 2, 3. So the degree is the 3 for this one. Similarly, cardinality is basically number of rows in a table, or you can say number of rows in a relation. 1, 2, and 3. So we won't take the topmost because it's not the information, it's just the header. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Another exercise. So we have one more exercise so that we can have a clear picture on the degree and the cardinality of the table. So here you can see the degree. Degree is basically the number of attributes or the columns that we have in the table. So if I say how many degrees we have, what is the degree of this table? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Similarly, how much is the cardinality for this one? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the cardinality for this table is also 4. Now if I go to this table, we have how many? 1, 2, 3. Degrees again, 3. How much is the cardinality? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's move to the another topic, which is the relational database. So as the name itself suggests that there is something which is referring to the relation, right? Right now we have the first table, which is the employee table, and the second one is the department table. In the employee table, we have attributes such as employee ID, employee name, department ID, right? Employee ID will be the primary key of the employee table. It's basically the primary key for the employee table. Now, if you don't know what the primary key is, you can surely go ahead and refer to the previous lecture of this series. Now, if I say this is the employee ID, and employee ID is the primary key, we have the name of the employee, we have the department ID. In the second table, we have the department ID and the department location. Now, basically, department ID in the department table is the primary key for the department table, and foreign key is the department ID in the employee table. So foreign key is actually a key which is pointing to the primary key of the another table, right? So there is a relationship between both the tables. So this is what we call as relational database. Now you might be thinking that we do have a relational database. What is the need of the non-relational database? Now, first of all, let me give you an example. Now you can see employee ID is there, employee name is there, and department ID is there. Now, for example, there is something like you can say maybe a new employee came and he doesn't have an employee ID yet. So that particular table will remain empty, right? It's taking up some space in this particular table because name and the department ID we will mention, but that person is not having the uh, or we can go another way. Let me make it more simpler for you. So for example, we have the employee ID, right? And a newly hired employee is there and he joined the company. So just take an example. Now what happened? The department and the role is not yet defined for that person. So what happens? We don't have the department ID with respect to that person. And obviously we are storing this information. It's obviously taking the information, right? Here I will put some nil and something like that. It's taking up some space from space of the table of the database, right? Which is not convenient because that information is not yet with us. So that is taking a lot of space for us. That's the reason we need the NoSQL database or non-relational database. So let's discuss how this will be. Now, for example, first thing, non-relational database will have its own query language. You can see there is something like student ID 99, everything. This is just one unit and it will take it as one unit and it will store it. So it's not having any kind of structure which we need to follow in order to fill the data. It can randomly take anything. It can dynamically store the data. Now, what is the difference between the relational database and the NoSQL or non-relational databases? So as I suggested earlier, we discussed these are the relational database. SQL database is basically a relational database, and the NoSQL is non-relational database. It is having a structured query language which is in the form of a table, right? And it doesn't have any structured language. It's having their own query language and they use that, right? Similarly, the data is stored in the form of tables. SQL databases are table based, right? And they are basically in the form of document, key graph, key value graph, and the wide column stores. So these are some of the forms in which the data is stored, right? Another thing is some of the examples of the relational databases are RDBMS, Relational Database Management System, Structured Query Language, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, MS SQL Server. And in case of NoSQL, it's Firebase, MongoDB, Cassandra, Redis. Our lecture ends. Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you really liked the video, please go ahead and share the video with your near and dear ones, and let's help each other to grow. And please like the video and comment on the video. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you in the next lecture.